Gladys Berejiklian is costing you a lot of money at the moment. Are you happy with the decisions that she's making?
Well, I think they are doing everything possible to get on top of this outbreak. Obviously, the numbers are too high and we want to see them come down. Victoria, the good news is that they've come out of their 2-week lockdown, South Australia out of their lockdown, and it's hopeful that we can see over time New South Wales come out of their lockdown. But our role as the federal government is to provide support right across the country. And that is what we're doing in New South Wales to the tune of $750 million a week, a very significant package of support. We increased yesterday the threshold for which businesses are eligible for these payments from $50 million in turnover to $250 million. We increased the amount that these businesses could receive each week from $10,000 to $100,000. And as you know, we increased the income support for households from $600 to $750 a week, or if you lose less than 20 hours of work, then from $375 we increased it to $450. And we also put an additional payment of $200 for people who are on welfare support but had also lost hours of work.
Yeah.
So this is a substantial package of economic support designed to cushion the blow for the difficult weeks ahead.
There's going to be more blows to come, though. I mean, 4 weeks of a lockdown extension here, it may well be ambitious. It could be much longer than that. The Prime Minister saying yesterday that there could well be lockdowns right up until Christmas. So how much is this going to affect the federal budget, the bottom line? What's the overall cost going to be here? 5, 10 billion?
Well, it's definitely going to be substantial, and we know that the hit in the September quarter is likely to be very significant, and I won't be surprised if we see a negative quarter in the September period. Now, that's not to say the December quarter will be negative. We just don't know what's around.
But an overall
corner.
cost, have you got an idea of an overall figure when it comes to your budget? Is 10 billion about right?
Well, Treasury's estimate is that the lockdowns in Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia were costing about $300 million a day. So just over $2 billion a week. That was Treasury's estimate. Now South Australia and Victoria are out of lockdown. That number will come down. But New South Wales is our largest economy. It's vitally important as part of our national economic engine. And we want to see the people of New South Wales come out of lockdown, and there's only one way to do that, and that's to follow the medical advice to suppress this outbreak, to contact, test and trace. And of course, vaccination is our ticket out of this crisis.
Yeah. Well, the medical advice, though, hasn't been right.
Higher numbers.
The medical advice hasn't been exactly right all along by somewhat contributing to vaccine hesitancy.
Well, that's why the most recent medical advice from ATAGI, where they strongly recommend people to take the AstraZeneca vaccine rather than waiting for alternative vaccines. Obviously, you've got to go and see a doctor in certain circumstances as well. But that change in the medical advice from ATAGI now aligns, Pete, with the situation on the ground, and I think that's a positive step forward.